Hello, everyone. Welcome to SunGates Center. This is your host, Sharon Berkowitz, and SunGates is where health and wellness resides. So we welcome you to come here at any time in Wheeling, Illinois. Our special guest today is Dr. Darren Weissman. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Well, Dr. Darren Weissman is a chiropractic holistic physician, best-selling author, and international speaker in the field of consciousness. His passion is teaching people how to intentionally change the emotional programs of the subconscious mind. And I can't wait to hear more about that. As a natural byproduct, clients directly enhance their bodies and relationships' natural potential to heal and thrive. And based upon Dr. Darren's life's work and research, he developed the Lifeline technique in 2002, which we'll hear more about. And it's very exciting because it's changing lives all over the world. So Dr. Darren, welcome. And can you tell us how you got started with consciousness and what brought you to this?
Well, my passion, actually since I was a little boy, was to be a doctor because I struggled personally with so many health challenges, allergies, sinus infections, ear infections, tonsils and adenoids removed, surgeries on my ears, that I just so wanted another way for kids to move through life healthy. But I didn't know about consciousness. I didn't know what it meant to be proactive in health. We were a pop a pill family. My grandfather was an amazing man, was a pharmacist, and we took pills and did a Western medical approach.
And that was the main approach that most people still follow today.
It is.
But there's a new approach that is on the horizon.
There is. So my first opening into a conscious approach to health was when I was studying in undergrad. I was getting my undergraduate degree in human biology, going pre-med, and I found chiropractic. And chiropractic was the opening of like, keep the spine in proper alignment, the nervous system is able to flow freely, the body's able to heal itself as it's designed. And while in chiropractic school, I discovered acupuncture through an acupuncturist, chiropractor, and medical doctor, Dr. Ray Chi. And I started to see how these systems, which were very different, were also very similar. And as a result, it really opened up a passion for me to study natural ways to heal the body and to support our ability to be whole. And that led me on a journey around the world, meeting some of the leading holistic doctors. I studied in Sri Lanka at the Kalabwila Hospital with a gentleman named Lord Pandit Professor Sir Dr. Enkan Jayasuriya. We worked with 300 to 500 people every single day in his hospital for free, doing acupuncture and Ayurvedic medicine, working with the chakras, doing manual therapy, magnetotherapy, reflexology, homeopathy, really seeing how all these different kinds of systems come together and can be used to support us. And things that I never learned in school, I was seeing happening in real time as far as healing from diseases that we are told that we can't heal from. And it just opened my mind.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yes, truly.
It's amazing. And so I studied in Beijing, acupuncture. I studied throughout Europe, learning kinesiology-based system, how to read reflexes in the body. I just became just so hungry to learn as much as I could. And the conscious awakening for me was June 17, 2002. A moment, about 8:45 at night, pacing my floor in my home, and based upon a question that a friend posed to me. And the question was, Darren, do you want to know the truth?
That's a very interesting question.
It is. And it was because we were searching for something and how to bridge all these different systems together. And we hadn't quite come up with it.
Right.
And my friend Dr. Ingrid Ma says, do you want to know the truth, Darren? And I was like, yeah, I want to know the truth, even though it really scared me. I was like, I didn't understand where she was coming from. And she's like, you're just too afraid. You're just too afraid of how powerful it will be. And
fearful of success or fearful of knowing something that is really unknown to us.
Yeah, one of the greatest fears in life, even though it's the constant, is change. And It really posed a change that would have to occur within me to discover something that was different and new and authentic. And on June 17, 2002, I had a moment where my crown chakra literally opened. The top of my head, the energetic field opened up, and I had a vision. And with clarity, like I'm looking at you, I saw everything that I'd studied with, everyone I'd studied with around the world, come together in this image. I could see words and symbols and directions. It was alive, like a Tibetan Zen mandala. And I said to my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, I said, babe, get me a pen and paper. Like, I just had this moment. You
gotta write it down right away.
Yeah. And I wrote out what is now called the Lifeline Technique flowchart. And what I've discovered in that awakening, that conscious awakening, is that it is a blueprint. It's a roadmap of that invisible nature of our mind, our subconscious mind. I've been using it ever since, and I've been teaching about it ever since. I've written 3 books about it.
Yes, yeah. We have The Power of Infinite Love and Gratitude, and The Awakening to the Supercode of Your Mind.
Yeah.
You also have another book.
The Heart of the Matter, as well as a children's book, The Daily Lessons of Infinite Love and Gratitude. So I've been really passionately serving and sharing with those that ultimately want to change their story. Ultimately, those that want to change the patterns that are driving the symptoms and disease patterns, both in our physical body and our relationships, as well as in our world. And this Lifeline Technique process, the conscious awakening, has empowered me to do it. And I'm so humbled and grateful.
And we're so grateful that you've discovered this, that you can now share openly to the world. And you have about 700 certified practitioners all across the country, the world.
Yeah, around 24 countries around the world.
24 countries.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
That's truly amazing.
It is.
And what is actually the gift of the Lifeline Technique? What is it that people are actually obtaining from that?
Simplicity.
And how is that so simple?
People often think that healing is complicated. And there are so many ways we go about doing things. And I want to make a statement. I'm not against anything. So I'm not against Western medicine or a pill or anything. I'm grateful for every aspect of my own journey. And I'm grateful for what Western medical provides in saving lives. It does. The but is that Lifeline offers a very simple, sometimes it seems crazy it's so simple that it could actually heal, that the body or our relationships or our mind could change so quickly, so effectively, and so sustainably in a particular moment. What it offers is simplicity and a daily practice.
So when we're doing this daily practice, are we accessing the subconscious mind? And I know you talked about muscle testing, kinesiology.
Yeah.
So is that how we tap into it?
Yeah. So in this daily practice, like you wake up in the morning, what kind of practice do you have? You know, it's good to have a daily practice if you want to be in the driver's seat of your life. Otherwise, other programs take over for ourselves, and we're the passenger of our body, we're the passenger of our relationships, we're the passenger of circumstances that just happen to us. And when we're using muscle testing, and I'm happy to talk about kinesiology, when we're using the Lifeline Technique, this practice empowers us to access our invisible field, the intelligence of energy that is called our subconscious. And the significance or the value of this is that the subconscious mind makes up most of our mind. Now, I want to talk about this just for a second. Sub meaning below the surface. We are not aware of what we're not aware of. 90 to 98% of our consciousness is below the surface.
Right, well, our programs are, our beliefs, everything that we think about, our memories, everything is housed in the subconscious mind.
Everything is.
So this is why we have such a great benefit of accessing it through muscle testing.
Right. And through using muscle testing on yourself or with another person. You can do it long distance with people, Skype, whatever it might be.
Because energy knows no boundaries.
None at
Go
all.
anywhere, right?
It's so beautiful. I want to come back to this, but I had a couple who called me from Mykonos Island yesterday. They were going through this incredible trauma, and they said, Dr. D, we couldn't think of anyone else, and thank you for squeezing us in at your lunchtime. And I did a session, and 45 minutes later, what was the end of their relationship and experience was a complete shift in consciousness.
Right.
And the key here is this. The subconscious mind, not only, as you said, stores like memories and beliefs, the subconscious mind has some primary focuses as far as what it does and why it does what it does. One is it orchestrates every one of the 50 plus trillion cells in our body. So we've got all these cells that make up organs and glands and systems of our body. Thank goodness we don't need to be in charge of that.
Mm-hmm. It carries cellular memory as well, and that our cells know their jobs, they know their functions, and when they're not functioning correctly, this is our opportunity when the body's in pain to really understand. We could take a look at that and see where our emotions come in, and then tap into that, into the subconscious mind, so we can make a shift and change in our perception, change in our beliefs.
Exactly. And so that's one aspect, was it orchestrates the physical cells of our body. And the other aspect is it stores memories.
Mm.
So, and this is the part that actually gets really exciting. I find it so yummy and fun to really understand this. That when memories, when we're in a moment, like right now, when we're in a moment and we can really be present, fully here, we can process our emotions and just digest it for what it is, then our system on a cellular level goes through a process where when we go to sleep at night, we integrate the short-term memory of the day into long-term memory so that we learn, we grow, and we heal. The same aspect of intelligent memory for learning and being able to do creative and logical things in life is also associated in the nervous system with the memory of healing on a cellular level.
And that's why it's so important to get a good night's sleep, because you need to go deep into sleep, like the fourth stage, where that's where all the healing comes in.
The fourth stage of REM.
Right, fourth stage of REM, exactly, where people actually get the healing for their bodies, and it also helps them not to age, or to age gracefully, because then that way they're more healed throughout their life. And
let's back up a bit though. So when there are moments in time, and we all have them throughout our entire life, where circumstances happen where we're not able to truly digest the emotion. And what I mean is, when I say digest the emotion, because people think like eating food and digesting the nutrients to support our cells. Our emotions are medicine or poison. And when we're not able to process them, then those moments, such as here I am at 5 years of age, I'm in an environment where there's a lot of anger and overwhelm and fear going on in the environment. If I don't have the ability at 5 to process the emotions and circumstances of life, and my environment around me can't support me in a way that they don't know how to support themselves, people can't give what they don't have to give, then the subconscious mind says this here, and it says, I got you. And it goes through this process that in the lifeline I call an SPR, and that stands for a spirit protection reflex. Our spirit literally gets protected in that moment so that we can emotionally survive.
It's a fight or flight.
It's a fight or flight, but when we are forced to process emotions that we can't process, you know what happens?
Yeah, pain, disease, things happen to the body,
even
and also
further,
the mind.
Even further.
So it goes deeper.
Even further, we are forced to process emotions that we cannot process.
We die.
We die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
It is. There's actually a research called the broken heart syndrome that goes on in life. And so what's interesting is that the subconscious mind does this thing where it says, hey, you know what? They can't process the emotions. And it goes through a process called T-1, perceived trauma minus 1 millisecond. And the subconscious mind takes a picture of all of the sensory stimuli, the colors, the smells, the sounds, the feelings, and it downloads them into subconscious memory, cellular memory, like you were saying, and it backs up 1 millisecond. What I mean by that is it literally programs us to forget. It hypnotizes us to forget that moment. And what happens is that moment stays in Groundhog Day. It stays in like this cryogenic place where it stays the same.
Right.
And we remain 5 years of age, all the way up until I'm 49 years young right now, all the way up to 49 years of age. But when colors and sounds and smells that are similar to that 5-year young experience get activated, our brain and our body aren't designed to know the difference between what's really going on in that memory, and that memory comes to the surface. And when it comes to the surface, here I have allergies. Here my immune system is attacking my own body. I've got autoimmune. Here I am, I've got migraines. Here, leaky gut, inflammatory bowel disease. Here I am with addiction or OCD. All these unique behaviors, these reactive patterns show up in our life. And what I call these symptoms, these stressors that we all have.
It's a reaction, it's a response to how we're processing our emotions, which we're not really doing. And so your lifeline technique helps people to process their emotions, to go to a higher vibration, to go to a more natural state. So the body can live in a more natural environment, which we're all programmed naturally. That healing is natural to us.
It is.
We just forgot how to do that. So we're here to remember who we truly are. So then that way we can have, our experiences. Because what I find is that we are attracting experiences to us at the vibration level that we're at. And then we keep creating that over and over again, not realizing, because we haven't processed those emotions like you mentioned.
And that's what we call them gifts of very strange wrapping paper. Because these symptoms and stressors and these traumas and dramas that go on and on and on, they are the portal rather than the problem.
Right. We have to look at as being part of the solution and not have resistance towards it.
And that's not always easy to do, though.
No, but that's why your technique is so helpful to people. So they have a step-by-step process where they can go through a grounding technique, connecting to spirit, to their body, to nature, to earth. And what this does is it also helps you to expand and live from your heart. So that way you can have the experiences that live through your heart rather than through the mind, because the mind is just all over the place. It's protecting you, it's giving you stories, it's creating your perspectives.
Yeah, it is. And when we can have a daily practice where we wake up in the morning, we go to bed at night, and we follow a process that I call a manifestation system. That's what the lifeline is. It's a manifestation system that allows us to be intentional. And when we can be intentional, then what no longer matches that intention of I am self-loving, feeling grateful, when I can manifest that on a subconscious level, what no longer matches that naturally is let go. So oftentimes there's different types of systems that are out there, and they're all amazing and great and beautiful. But one of the unique differences is that rather than clearing old things out or, making things go away, Lifeline is about raising consciousness. It's its only focus. And when we raise consciousness, the natural byproduct is healing, is compassion, is a deeper understanding of loving ourselves, where we are and who we are. And that's an evolutionary journey that we all must go on ourselves. And I feel blessed and I feel grateful that I can use this for myself, and even further, that I can teach other people to use it for themselves.
So how have people benefited from using your technique? Can you give us an example where, someone had some pain in their body or that they were experiencing something and the Lifeline technique went above that and took it away?
I can give you thousands.
Thousands?
Upon thousands.
Okay.
Because I've trained so many people around the world, so it's not just me doing it I'll just give you a recent one that's sticking out. A young person who I've been working with for 2 months. We had done 4 sessions, and this person came in with a tumor on her neck and extreme endometriosis, debilitating pain with her menstrual cycle, and massive anxiety, depression, and suicidal ideations and actions.
Mhm.
And this person came in after the 4th session, crying like boogers out her nose and just slobbering, crying with gratitude, saying, Dr. Darren, it changed my life. I'm genuinely happy. I'm feeling grateful. I'm making friends. People are noticing this in me and I can't even feel this on my neck anymore. And my period, it's different. I've been addicted to painkillers, addicted to them. And I haven't taken one since I started seeing you. That's one.
And you know what it is to me? It's like an addiction to the body. That when we identify with the body, and that's where our separate self is at that level, and we don't process the emotions,
Yeah.
then that's how we're experiencing it through the body. But if we look at the body as just a vehicle that we're here to experience, being spirit in a physical body, and then we go to an awareness,
Yeah.
that this awareness, the awareness itself doesn't change. What changes is our perception. What changes is what we believe in. And so when we move past that, and you found that that's helping this person, it was just amazing. That's a great story, that she actually experienced something physical, something emotional, and it got her through that point.
Yeah.
And it raised up her consciousness, her vibration.
Yeah, the process in and of itself raises consciousness. It's the nature of it. There are 16 steps in the lifeline, and we follow them. And even though there's 16 steps, no 2 lifelines for oneself is ever the same.
Mhm.
Or with another person, no 2 people are the same. We each get to particular places, even though you might have the same diagnosis. No one got there in the same way, so it's a unique evolutionary journey in unwinding.
So the mind covers things up for us, right? The mind is a distraction for us to realize our true self, our self-realization. So is the lifeline technique taking us to a self-realized state?
Yes, it is. The mind protects in the present moment. So if distraction is one way, it will distract. It will cause us to internalize, it will cause us to deny, it will cause us to disconnect, it will cause us to lose our power, it will cause us to break. It will do whatever it needs to do so that our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, our mind, heart, and will in any given moment are that power is, how do I want to put this? It's put in a place where once it's done its job of protection, it's no longer protecting. And what it turns into is a lighthouse in a dark night.
Mm-hmm.
The mind is actually, its intelligence is committed to awakening us to the next greatest version of ourselves. In the present moment, it protects, blinking the eye, touch a hot flame. On an emotional level, the spirit protection reflex, not enabling us to process emotions that we can't process. But once it's done the protective job, now it immediately shifts and it becomes a broadcasting signal. And as you said earlier, we begin to attract people and circumstances that match the vibration of whatever Groundhog Day subconscious pattern that's in motion. And what happens is, so we go through this over and over and over again throughout our life. Guess what happens? When you go through things, you learn, you grow, you heal, you evolve. And that becomes a self-realization.
And I really like how you said that we're moving dark into light. And that when we become more expansive, that this opens up a new doorway for us.
Yeah, well,
We can be a whole different person, like the example that you gave, that she felt so happy.
oh,
And it just changed her life, and it's going to change the lives around you.
yeah,
And your experiences will also shift, because now what you're vibrating at is a much higher vibration.
yeah.
So you'll be attracting that.
It does. It completely changes our attractor field when we feel the opportunities, the relationships that we have. You know, at the point of complete darkness, that's actually the beginning of life. And so when we are able to go through a process of integrating emotion, and it's actually super simple, once again, to process emotions. It seems like we need to sit on a couch and talk about it for, months, if not years, if not decades. But it doesn't need to be a long, belabored, re-traumatizing circumstance to process emotion. Once we actually go through this process, our light becomes a light that shows that other people can walk the path as well.
Right, we become a beacon.
We become a beacon.
Yeah, we speak
Yeah,
truth. We discover the truth, like what you said. What is it? What is your truth? What does it mean to you?
Mhm.
And then once you stepped into that path, that you discovered the lifeline technique, and now it's grown leaps and bounds.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you something. Here's the wild thing. When I said that the lifeline's simple and it's a practice, it's simple because it's all about this hand posture. This hand posture in American Sign Language means I love you. It means I love you. This is a journey of love.
Mhm.
And the words infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude. That's our secret sauce. And in that vibration of triggering the subconscious and knowing that it's triggered through muscle testing and harmonizing with infinite love and gratitude and retesting the muscle and knowing that a change has made, because that reflex that the nervous system controls, and the nervous system controls everything, that reflex immediately changed. You know you're making a change at a subconscious level. For me to come out with this process, Sharon, it was scary, because it was, as much as it's like a lot of things, because I studied all these different things, it's like nothing else also. So I was scared in writing the book and teaching it. And the one thing I'm really authentically proud of with myself is that I just stuck with it because I knew. And it didn't matter if somebody said some kind of belligerent negative thing, and plenty of people did. Once I knew it could help one person, it became a moral obligation to share it with people. And those that resonate, they find it. And obviously, if it's in 24 countries around the world, there's people that are looking for a simple practice to raise their consciousness and influence optimal health, balance, and purpose.
Absolutely. And we find that everything is interrelated, interconnected, and all the modalities that you've studied, the Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic, and the holistic kinesiology, you've integrated all into the lifeline technique,
Right.
the chakras, and the list
NLP,
goes on and on.
EMDR,
Right.
right, applied kinesiology.
And then this is something that people can learn.
Yeah, anyone can learn it. And here's a wild thing too. I'm with my buddy, Dr. Tom May, amazing holistic chiropractor, brilliant functional medicine. And I'm talking to him, and I'm like, who do I teach this to? Do I just teach it to docs? Do I just teach it to doctors? And then it took me like 10 seconds to come up with the answer. No.
This is for everyone.
Infinite love and gratitude. This is for anyone. And I tell you, those people that are practitioners, this tool can take whatever tool you have to a whole other level. I've trained, the lead Reiki master throughout all of Asia, who's in Hong Kong, is a certified lifeline practitioner. I've trained all kinds of people. So practitioners can take this work to a whole other level. But to me, the mom at home raising children, the CEO who's managing all these people, all these circumstances, like the people that called me from Mykonos and, are in drama and trauma relationship, and divorce rates are skyrocketing, and, different face, different name, but same pattern of horrible relationship, horrible love. No, there's consciousness that is showing up in our bodies, in our lives, in our behavior, and we can change it.
Right, and it's a portal, it's that opportunity for change that we're looking to see. And that reflects out what's happening in our experiences and in the body.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. And I know that you've gone to Celebrate Your Life, because that's where I met you.
Yeah.
That was the first time I saw you.
Great program. That's an amazing one.
And then I followed you, and I went into your coursework.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. It was Life Ignite.
Yeah, the Lifeline Ignite. It's like the beginners.
Right.
It teaches like a 10-minute practice on how to use Lifeline.
Right. So I find those experiences very, very helpful. Yeah, very good. And so when you're seeing that the mind overshadows you, and the mind just kind of wants to take over itself, do you find that what we're doing is dissolving what's in the mind, dissolving the emotions, or what is it actually occurring?
Here's the thing. Let's back up. Our subconscious mind is always 7 times faster than our best trained self. So you could be a ninja meditator. You could have just practiced yoga for your entire life and done all kinds of things. It does not matter. Your subconscious mind will always be your leading edge. Rather than, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news on this, and it's not bad news, it's beautiful news, but we're not in control. There's a field of energy that connects all of creation. And this field of energy that connects all of creation, it orchestrates the stars and it orchestrates the cells.
Right, there's something bigger than all of
It
us
is.
here. And it's not just what we see.
Right.
Because that's one dimensional that we see.
So our mind, our conscious aware choosing mind, and our subconscious reactive program mind gives us a reflection and an experience of the divine, of source. It gives us our own personal journey that we are all on. Where we start is unique for everyone, and how we get to where we're going, whatever the heck that means, is unique to everyone as well. So, but I'm very clear on the linguistics that I use. And that rather than dissolving a pattern in the mind, no, it's not about that. Rather than making a tumor go away, or allergies go away, or behavior go away, we are about raising consciousness. And what does not match that vibration is naturally let go of, exhaled. That's it. That's it. So there's a part in the Lifeline, it's the second step, it's super cool. And it's called set the intention. But there's 4 parts to it. So the first part of setting intention, because it's really what it's all about, the vibration that you are intending to be in the world is the key. If we can be intentional, it really makes a big difference. So before we get to where we intend to be, we need to acknowledge first where we are. This is where the portals begin. This is where the perceived problems. And I have people, the first step of setting intention, I have people observe their bodies. Write down the symptoms like you're taking inventory. Oh, I got left shoulder pain, 6 out of 10. Oh, I get migraine headaches and they're horrible. Right now I don't have one, it's a 0, but when they hit, it's a 9.5. Oh, I have a hard time digesting this food, or I'm allergic. And they write down all the symptoms and they rate them. Then I have people observe their lives and tune into the relationships and circumstances of life that are stressful. In fact, go ahead and do that right now. Those people that might be watching, take a moment, write down the physical symptoms of your body, rate them on a scale of 0 to 10, right? Just 10 is the worst, get me off the planet, death is better, 0 is nothing. Take a moment, write down the physical symptoms. And then once you've written, maybe you can just write down 2 of them. I got diabetes, I have high blood pressure, I have low back pain, whatever it might be, and rate it. Now, go your life and consciously observe the relationships and circumstances of your life that cause you to be stressed.
Mhm.
You'll notice your mind immediately thinks about certain people. Could be debt, could be my boss, could be husband or wife or kids, or whatever it might be, politics, whatever. It's just weighing on you. Write that down. Just write a word that represents that stress. Like, just put a money sign if it's finances for you. And what emotion gets triggered in you as you're connecting to the stress in your life? What emotion? Fear. Rate the fear, 7 out of 10. Anger. Oh, I'm so angry, 8 out of 10. Oh, I feel insecure, 6 out of 10. Whatever it might be, what emotion do you feel as you're connecting to the stress in your life? That's the first step before we set intention.
Right, so you're identifying what is going on in your life.
And by
And rating it.
identifying it, you're like hashtagging the subconscious mind.
Mhm.
You're hashtagging it. Because below the surface of this invisible field, there is something going on. And by getting the X marks the spot, what's getting the tip of the iceberg, you're waking up this sleeping giant, this buried treasure within the subconscious. Once you've written down the physical symptoms and the stressors and the emotion, we've rated it. Now we ask a question. And this question is a defining question. And it's similar to my friend Dr. Ingrid, who said, "You want to know the truth?" We call this the truth question in the Lifeline.
Right.
So let me run the truth question by you and see if it's the truth for you. Hey, if you were given the opportunity for you to create your life, you could manifest your life, a day or a moment. Would you ever choose to manifest your perfect day with cancer, with autoimmune disease, with rashes on your body, with allergies? Would you choose to manifest your life where you were stressed in your marriage, where you were overwhelmed by finances, where you felt helpless and powerless to change where you feel stuck? Would you choose to create your life feeling this way?
The answer is hell no.
The answer is hell no. Exactly. It's hell no.
Yeah.
Right? So this is the beautiful thing about it, because of course no one chooses this. However, we all experience these things on one level or another. And this gives us an opportunity to appreciate when something's not a choice, duh. When it's not an action,
Mhm.
it's a reaction. And the reactive part of our mind is the subconscious. We just open the chamber of infinite possibilities by consciously observing and discerning rather than judging. Of course, we don't choose it. Now we set our intention.
Mhm.
And in the face of this, we've got to take responsibility, even though we don't choose it. We are the common denominator of every circumstance in our life.
Mhm.
And if anything's going to change, the change has got to start with us. So I teach people how to set intention from the heart, how to use the 2 golden rules to focus where you're going, as if you're already there.
Right.
I am becomes the most powerful 2 words that you put in front of your heart's desire. We use our imagination to see ourselves already there, feel ourselves already there. And what comes through is all of a sudden you start to feel this I am intention come to life.
And the I am is the divine self.
It is the divine self.
Mhm.
And out of that comes mind medicine.
Mhm.
Out of that becomes a cellular activation where the memories that have been dormant and spinning in Groundhog Day begin the processing and evolutionary transformation. And then from there, we go through some steps of creating a portal and bridging the gap between the conscious and subconscious. It's beautiful and it's fun. And, as much as I just mentioned a lot of different things, anyone can learn this. I mean, I've got an 11-year-old boy taking the full Lifeline certification course right now.
Mhm.
The oldest person that ever did it was in her 80s.
Mhm.
Anyone can do it, because it's not about doing it to learn a technique. It's about learning it to change your own story and patterns in your own life.
So anyone can learn this technique. You don't
Yeah.
have to have a background
No.
or have any kind
Just a thrill from life and a passion to learn.
right.
Yeah.
And so you're actually helping to heal animals
Yeah,
as well, right?
Yeah.
Children,
yeah.
people of all ages, doesn't matter how old you are.
Here's a cool thing. Here's a cool thing. Once you understand the process, once you can actually play the music, the application is far and wide. Number one, the first application, self. Use it for yourself. Second application, use it for your family. Use it for the people that you care about. And you can use it, like we said, with children. You can use it, as I was saying, you can work with a couple, work with a family. I work with companies all at once. Everyone in the company, getting them all on board, all aligned. You can use it with pets. The application goes far and wide. It's so interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's neat.
It serves a diverse need that we have. Like, there's so many different needs in the world, whether it's, even in government, or how we perceive things that are happening in the world. Can it help on that level as
Yeah,
well?
for sure. I mean, absolutely. I purposely will observe things that I think are absolutely ridiculous going on in politics, and observe the trigger it does within me, and bring myself to the process so that I can be conscious rather than reactive, rather than like, oh, I'm not watching the news. No, I actually watch the news with intention. I use the lifeline to process it. So yeah, the application is amazing in so many different ways. And to me, it's amazing as a practice when trauma happens. And, unfortunately, throughout life, we're all going to get a bad call. We're all going to get things that happen. Something's going to happen to all of us. And what kind of tools or strategies do we have to support ourselves to process our emotions and be intentional?
Right, and these are the challenges
Yeah.
in life.
Yeah.
Everyone faces
Real.
something every day.
For real.
And it is real to the separate self, to the mind, who needs some kind of resolvement for it.
Well, we're human.
And we are.
We're human. So we can be completely spiritual in every way. The Dalai Lama is completely spiritual in every way, but the Dalai Lama had his gallbladder removed. So it doesn't mean that we don't have a subconscious mind that comes out and expresses itself in unique ways. It does for everyone, no matter what level of consciousness that you're at. This is a tool that integrates all kinds of tools, and it can be used in all kinds of beautiful ways.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And building awareness, and it helps our listeners, and it'll help everyone.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate you spending time here at SunGates Center.
My pleasure. This was a fun dialogue with you.
Great, excellent. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, I would just love to share that wherever you are in your life, whatever might be going on, it's your starting point. And even if you think you're stuck and you're like behind, between a rock and a hard place, ask yourself the truth question. Would I choose to experience it? Would I choose to manifest my life this way? And the answer is, of course, no way. Hell no, I wouldn't choose this. There are steps that you can take for yourself to begin to create real change in your life. And if it's as simple as holding your hand in an I love you posture, and holding it over your heart, and wrapping your heart in a warm blanket, and simply saying infinite love and gratitude, and breathe infinite love and gratitude, and hold that space, you'll observe that those feelings start to change, those thoughts start to change. And that's a great beginning point, and that's a tool that you can use to support yourself. So thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Darren Weissman. And you have the Lifeline Center?
Yeah.
And that's located in Northbrook?
It's in Glenview.
It's in Glenview,
Yeah.
Illinois?
Yeah, but I work with people all over the world most of my practice is via Skype in countries everywhere. But if people want to find out more, they can just go to thelifelinecenter.com. It's thelifelinecenter.com.
Or they can contact SunGates Center here in Wheeling for more information.
Cool.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Dr. Darren Weissman.
My pleasure.
And we wish you a wonderful, beautiful day. Infinite love and gratitude.
Infinite love and gratitude.